evening, folks, and welcome to another special episode, Christmas episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. As you know, I had the beer calendar for the first 24 days. However, prior to that, I had bought 4 beers, not knowing I was going to buy the beer calendar. And they were 4 Christmas beers, and this is the second. So there you go. I'm going to, this one is nicely gift wrapped. It's Innis Gunns frankincense. It says gold ale matured over gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And it's a limited edition, and I looked online. And actually, I can't find much information about it, where it's a limited edition. Apparently, it's sold out. There is a fair bit of information on the wrapper itself, so I'll read that. A little bit about the brewery. I know it's out of Scotland, Edinburgh, I believe, and they started in the early 2000s. I believe 2003 to 2004. I guess they're one of the main craft breweries in Scotland. They're known for their barrel-aged beer. They age their beer in barrels. It's normally, whiskey barrels and stuff like that. However, they also started their own process. Instead of the beer in the barrel is in the beer. So basically, they buy these barrels, they break them apart, put them in pieces, and they burn them to different levels, and then they put that in the beer. And I guess the theory is the flavor from the beer, whether it's whiskey or whatever, scotch or whatever the case may be, is more infused with the beer. Just so read the label. It says, frankincense is our festive beer with a difference. A golden ale packed full of lovely hops and malt character, this celestial brew has been elevated to a different plane by the addition of the 3 most celebrated ingredients in the book: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. If it's good enough for the big guy, then it's definitely good enough for us. With this by your side, we know you'll have a happy holiday. So I'm not quite sure if they put it in the barrels with the beer, or what the case is. We'll see how it tastes. First time I ever had a gift wrap beer. Let's see if there's any further information. Not really. 5.8% alcohol, so a little bit more than we're used to in North America for macro brews. And that's about all the information. You have a little bit more information, but it's the same thing I just read. So I'll give my glass a quick cold water rinse. Just basically cool down the glass, get rid of any dust. And this is a non-nick glass, or no nick, which is normally used for British ales in the pubs. Also in Ireland, you'll see Guinness a lot of times in this style of glass. So a nice golden ale, golden color to be expected. Also known as a pale ale or a summer ale, so if you ever see those names used, it's pretty much the same thing. A little bit of a head, nothing substantial. Aroma-wise, the thing that jumps out at me is the hops. More hoppy than I expected. Actually, kind of reminds me a little bit of an IPA. The big question is, how does it taste? If anybody's following me on a regular basis, I don't mind IPAs, but they're definitely, not that this is an IPA, but I'm definitely smelling the hops. And IPAs are not my go-to beer. I don't mind them, but let's see how it tastes. That being said, I can definitely taste the hops, not to the same point as an IPA, but it's definitely, the flavor is definitely there. For me, it almost tastes like a really, really light IPA. Not a bad thing, but I really, really didn't know what to expect. And just reading the bottle here, it says golden ale matured over gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So I guess it's those 3 ingredients, those Christmas ingredients, are in the barrel, I would assume. As I said, Edinburgh beer. They've been around for 15, 16, 17 years, somewhere along that. I think it's 2003 to 2004. To give it a rating, once again, my ratings are always out of 5. A 1 being a drain pour, don't like it, can't finish it, pouring it down the drain. A 2 being, not a fan, but I'm not one to waste the beer, so I'll drink it. A 3 being a good beer, a 4 being a very good beer, and a 5 being the best beer ever. To give this one a rating, the Innis Gunns frankincense. I'm leaning towards a 2.5 or a 3. It's probably going to be the 3, where it's a good beer. I don't mind it. I'll drink it. It's enjoyable, but it's nothing I'd go out of my way for again. I actually had an Innis Gunns before. It wasn't one of my reviews, and that was one that was aged in, I think it was a whiskey barrel or a bourbon barrel. And I wasn't a big fan of that as well. So I don't know if this was aged in a barrel, or maybe I'm getting the flavor of the whiskey or the bourbon, whatever the case may be, or scotch. Not being a liquor drinker, I guess that's really not a thing for me. Not a positive. I'm going to say 3.0, which means it's a good beer, it's an okay beer. I wouldn't object to having another, but it's not something I'd go wildly out of my way for. That's about it. That's our second Christmas beer, other than the Advent calendars. I have 2 more to do, which I'm really hoping to get done before New Year's Day, so within the next couple of days, hopefully I can get at them. And the 2 that I have, just to give you a little preview. Now, this one is St. Peter's Christmas Ale. It's toffee and caramel aromas with rich Christmas spice flavor. 7% alcohol, and it's out of the UK as well, England, I believe. And the other one I have is Bah Humbug from the Witchwood Brewery, 5.0% alcohol, and this one is out of and this one's out of the UK as well, England. So these are both English beers. So I'm starting to think the UK are big on their Christmas ales. So there you go, folks. 3.0. As always, until next beer, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.